At exactly 3 a.m., someone slid a note under my door. It had my full name on it. I didn't write it. I didn't order anything. But the message was only 4 words. They're watching you sleep. Then I heard someone breathing outside my door. You freeze. The note trembles under your fingers. The hallway is a thin, familiar thing. The same carpet, the same hum of the fridge down the hall. You tell yourself it's a prank. You tell yourself 100 things, but you open the door anyway. There's no one. Just a small cardboard box on the mat. Your name is on it in neat block letters. Your address. The return label is smudged. Your stomach drops because inside the box is a thing you never thought anyone else remembered. The tiny wooden soldier you carved with your father when you were 9. The paint is old. The soldier's chest is gouged where you once stabbed it with a pocket knife. On the underside, in your handwriting, is a number. An old locker code you never used. You shove the box into your arms. Your phone buzzes. An unknown number. A text. Just 2 words. Don't move. You laugh. You shake. You check the peephole. Someone is standing on the landing 2 floors down, just watching. You step out. The landing is empty. The breath you heard is gone. You start looking. The smoke detector in the hall, the little plastic dome, is colder than the ceiling. Your thumb finds a hairline seam and a tiny lens. A pinhole camera. Your throat goes raw. You pull at it. It snaps out. A red LED blinks for a second before dying. The wiring in the ceiling has been rerouted. There are marks you don't remember seeing before. Your phone pings again. A photo. It's you, lying on your bed, your mouth half open, the lamp still on. You are asleep in the picture. The timestamp is 3 hours ago. You didn't wake. You call the police. Your voice stretches out high and thin. You say the words, "Someone is watching me." A patrol car idles outside 20 minutes later. The officer listens, polite but distracted. He asks questions. He writes things down. Before you can finish, there's a knock. Another package on the stoop. The officer's face goes pale when he reads the return sticker. You watch him fold the paper like it's an explosive. You open the new box with numb fingers. Inside is a photograph, glossy and sharp. You again, this time curled under the duvet, the moonlight painting the curve of your cheek. The officer blanches. He tells you to stay put. He radios for backup. You put the photo over your mouth and feel suddenly very small and very seen. You try to leave. Your car won't start. The battery is dead. The driver's side window has a hairline fracture. You take your keys, then your bag, then figure walking to the subway is safe. On the stairs, you find your bike, tires sliced neatly. The neighbor's dog, the old golden across the hall, is missing its collar. Your movements have been cataloged and anticipated. Your messages are a breadcrumb trail. A calendar invite pops up on your phone for a meeting you never scheduled. A friend texts to ask if you're okay because they saw you on a live stream last week at a protest you never attended. Every route you consider has already been anticipated by someone who knows where you will go before you go. You go back to the officer. He promises to patrol. He says they'll put you on a watch. But when you go to pull your curtains closed that night, you find the hem of the fabric clipped with a tamper tag, the kind an installer uses to show a cut. There is a scrap of paper stuffed between the slats with a hand-drawn map, a route marked to a storage facility on the edge of town. At the bottom, Locker 34C. You don't tell the officer about the locker, you go alone. The unit hums with fluorescent light and the smell of motor oil. Locker 34C is dusty, a thin lock in place. Inside, under a pile of insurance brochures, you find a passport with your face. Same eyes, same scar on the left eyebrow, but a different name. Airline tickets, a motel receipt, a Polaroid stack tied with red twine. You, in different places, different clothes, with people you don't know. There's a lighter with initials etched into it. Initials only one person called you when you were a child. A camcorder, too. Old tape. You press play in your car. The image stutters, then stabilizes. A hand holds the camera, filming a motel room. Someone enters wearing a hoodie. The camera flips, and for a second, a face is visible. The jawline like yours, the same crooked smile. Then the hood comes down, and you watch a crime unfold. A confrontation, a fire, a single scream. The tape goes dark. You sit in the driver's seat with the camcorder on your lap and the world tilting. You call the number on the receipts. The voice on the other end is thin and steady. "We've been trying to find you for months," she says. "My name is Mara. I'm not the one watching you." She explains the packets. She explains the photographs. She is a journalist who started digging into a decade-old arson that killed 3 people. All traces led to a man using your face, your name, your social security. She found a pattern: forged documents, booked hotel rooms, a paper trail leading back to a ring that specializes in identity laundering. He's using you to burn his tracks, she says. He's been building a life on top of yours. You insist you remember nothing. Mara's voice is soft over the line. No one expects you to remember, she says. You're not the perp on paper, you're the frame. Then she adds the scariest thing. They know you're close. From there, the world shrinks to motion. Someone clamps down. The stairwell camera you destroyed. It was a decoy. The real camera was pointed at your bedroom window, hidden in the gutter. The people who stole your life have eyes everywhere. When you go to confront the motel manager, the man who sold the room on an alias, you find his dead car at the curb, lights still on. A note on the dash, the same block letters as the boxes. It's a message. Stop digging. Men show up at your door that night. They are careful, professional. When you try to bolt through the side gate, they've blocked the alley with a van. When you throw yourself over the low fence, you find a silhouette waiting at the bottom, as if they had stood there since you opened your door. You start to see the pattern. These aren't random vagrants. These are people trained to move you, to herd you. Every escape route is a funnel. Every choice you make has already been priced. Mara is desperate now. She explains the packages weren't threats. They were breadcrumbs. Each object in a box is a code. The wooden soldier points to the locker. The lighter points to a pawn shop where the identity ring prepaid a buyback. The passport points to a flight manifest. She's been sending you proof that someone is building a mirror life in your name, and she needs you to follow it so you can find who does this and why. You trade the camcorder tape for one meeting. Mara arranges a face-to-face in a diner under a rotting neon sign. You sit with her and finally breathe, but the diner's security feed is hacked in that very second. The screen goes static. Mara slides an envelope across the table. Inside are tiny film negatives and a thumb drive. One of their guys used to keep trophies, she says. He's sloppy. When you watch the files back in a rented room, you see something that pins your gut to the floor. Photos of men and women who look exactly like you. Not the same person photoshopped, but masks, silicone overlays stretched and painted, a grotesque gallery of faces used to impersonate dozens of people. The arsonists don't steal Social Security, they steal faces. They photograph themselves wearing them, learning your manner, sleeping in your bed to know how you breathe. That's what the note meant. They are literally watching you sleep, practicing you. You realize the horror of it. It's not just identity theft, it's method. The ring makes mannequins of people. They use them to pull off crimes anywhere. They sew your life over other crimes, so if anyone looks, it leads back to you. You and Mara set a trap. You bait them with a fake move to a motel listed on the files. You leave tracks. You leave obvious hints. You wait in the dark while the rain comes down in sheets and the city coughs. They arrive like ghosts. A van, then a man with a face you know like a photo you never wanted. He moves with confidence, keyed to a routine. Mara pounces. The scuffle is ugly, small, close. The man's mask slips in the fight, and you see, under the prosthetic, the face of someone you went to college with, a guy you barely knew, a ghost from your past who'd once borrowed money and never paid it back. He grins like it's a reunion. You hear sirens finally. The men are handcuffed. The prosthetics are bagged as evidence. Mara whispers, "They hoped you'd run. They didn't count on us running to you instead." For half a breath, you allow yourself to think it's over. Back in your apartment, you unpack the boxes that started this. The soldier sits on the mantel, battered but real. Mara brings the evidence to a small team. They tell you they'll help clear your name. They tell you the arson ring had an architect, a man who stitched faces into crimes across the continent. They tell you he had partners in high places. They tell you there are more of them, and that they were always patient. Sleep is thin that night. You tape your curtains, sweep for cameras, unplug anything that could be bugged. You wake when your phone vibrates on the table. The screen is a blank call. You answer anyway. A voice says, low and amused, "You'll be hard to mimic now, won't you?" You hang up. You breathe. You believe for a second that it is finished. Mara leaves a file on your coffee table. Images, dates, addresses. She kisses your forehead like a promise and drives off into the rain. You sit back into the couch and let the exhaustion come like a tide. Your phone pings. One new message, one image attachment. You open it. It's a photograph of you, exactly where you are sitting now. The couch cushions, the dent on the armrest, the mug on the table. The timestamp reads not past or present, but future, taken 30 seconds from now.